This is QTV News. I am Marietu Sidibe and thanks for joining us. First, the headlines. A new library and a clinic were inaugurated in Kir Omar Sen village in Jokadu. Addressing unemployment and irregular migration, these were the issues discussed at the Bakau Youth Development Association's annual conference. 2019 has been a challenging year for the youths of the country, says the Executive Director of the National Youth Council in an exclusive interview with QTV. For more on these and other stories, stay tuned. A new library and a clinic were inaugurated in Kir Omar Sen village in Jokadu on Saturday. The facility, which is fully funded by the Wada family, aims to enhance education and also provide basic medical services to the communities. Malik Nyang has more.
The facility is initiated and funded by Ibrahim Wada and his wife, with the objective of molding children in the village to love education and make it a priority. The opening of the library is to encourage education for both youth and adults in the provinces through reading. The facility also houses a clinic to provide basic medical treatment to support the people of Kir Omar Sen village and its surrounding communities. Ibrahim Wada, the proprietor of the facility, which also provides a clean water supply, said, "With education, you can have anything in the world," and that it is part of his family's responsibility to take part in the development of their community. Ibrahim Wada said their goal is to inspire and help. He further gives more general comments.
Any child that attends this facility 20 times out of the month will be given a prize that they can use. At the end of the school year, we will make some arrangements to where we'll take a family out of this village and take them to a place like Q City, for example, so that they can see for the first time in their life that you don't have to leave the Gambia to see a nice building, to see a swimming pool. All of this so that the kids can be inspired to stop dreaming of jumping on a boat and killing themselves, instead of saying, I am going to build my life right here and be who I want to be. And it starts with something as little as a buck.
Senabu Wada, Ibrahim's wife, who is a doctor, among other comments, advised the community to make best use of the facility.
We wish for the community to utilize this place because for us, we were born here, raised here, and we went to school starting from here. So I think if the community utilize this place, help their kids to come here, study, it will help them in the future because everything starts with the foundation, and if the foundation is not strong enough, like if these young kids are left alone and not being supported as the way they're supposed to support them, it will be difficult to reach that where they want to be.
Alaji Job, one of the village elders and the project coordinator, spoke about the facility's importance to the community.
Thank
God, the facility will be very useful to the community because I know the people will utilize it, knowing that there is both a library and a clinic. The library covers both English and Arabic education. Therefore, many people will benefit from the library, not only the people of Kir Omar Sen, but also the neighboring villages.
According to other village elders, the initiative will go a long way towards helping young people develop reading skills and provide basic healthcare needs. With poor medical service delivery in the country, the Wada family is complementing government's efforts and adding their quota towards delivering affordable healthcare to communities. Malik Nyang for QTV News.
Bakau Youth Development Association on Monday held its annual youth conference to address issues facing youths, key among them unemployment and irregular migration. Ajibintu Drame reports.
Bakau Youth Development Association, BIDA, is an association formed to solve social problems within the community. Recently, the rate of irregular migration has risen increasingly high, and the association deemed it necessary to address that issue, as well as other social problems affecting them. Pa Sise, the chairman of BIDA, says the youth should be considered in national development plans. He emphasized that youth should be confident and persevere to attain their goals.
It's one of the center stage and a key point of the Bakau Youth Development Association, because we know what youths can contribute in national development, and these are the messages that we are sending to not only the youths of Bakau, but the youths of KMC and the nation at large.
Lamin Fati, Country Coordinator Child Protection Alliance CPA, spoke about children's rights, emphasizing that the fundamental rights of children should be protected, respected and fulfilled.
Here, what is the most important legal instrument that you could derive your rights from? Any idea? That is the Constitution. Yet how many of us have read the Constitution? Very few. Even as we have read the Constitution, how many of us actually understand can interpret the Constitution? So fundamentally, as young people, then something is fundamentally wrong here. As young people, don't be just mere symbolic participants. Engage yourself in meaningful engagement. Be in a position to look at 4 things here. Get your education qualification right. Be that self-dependence. On yourself, don't be dependent on no one. Don't allow anyone to tell your children, I made your father. Today I would say no one made my life.
Omar Gassama of the Office of the President urges youth to put differences aside and strive to achieve their goals. He says young people are not availing themselves of the many resources within their reach.
Of our society. And this is true. It is true. The young people are always the cream of our society. But we should be prepared as young people to take the mantle of leadership. The same cannot be said for Gambia. Young people are lagging behind. Young people are not doing what is expected of them. And the claim always is, oh, we don't have the conducive environment. Who creates that environment? You create it for yourself.
According to the International Labour Organization, ILO, in 2018, the estimated youth unemployment rate in the Gambia was at 12.33%. The rate of unemployment is among issues causing youth to migrate or take the dangerous so-called backway journeys to developed countries. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
In an exclusive interview, the Executive Director of the National Youth Council has described 2019 as a challenging year for the youths of the country. Mr. Lamin Dabo said that despite a lot of achievements, a lot more is needed to address problems faced by the young people. Babukar C has the rest of that story.
The National Youth Council is actively operating in all the administrative regions and all the districts in the Gambia, with over 125 registered national and community-based youth civil society organizations. The agency's mandate is to mobilize, coordinate and supervise youth organizations, implement national youth programs and advise government on youth matters. Over the years, Gambian youth have faced a lot of challenges. Unemployment, poverty and other social issues have caused youths to migrate to Europe via the desert or the high seas, resulting in loss of lives. The Executive Director of the National Youth Council, Lamin Dabo, admits that his office and central government continue to face challenges with regards to tackling youth's problem, but argued that some successes were registered in different areas for the youths in 2019.
I must say that as part of our 2019 interventions, we have reached extra 60,000 people in addition to the 300,000 young people that we have reached in the previous year in our different advocacy programs. And I think that is making us reach more young people and actually be more grounded. Our structures are more visible and more engaging and active across the country than ever before.
Lamin Dabo says that unemployment still remains a challenge, but acknowledged that 2019 has also registered a lot of employment for young people.
There are challenges in terms of employment, in terms of numbers, because the population is increasing. And you realize that there are more young people who are getting unemployed, but there are also more young people who are actually getting jobs. we understand also unemployment, especially what is counted, is still on the rise. Understanding 2018 unemployment rate is 41.5%, and 2012 it was about youth unemployment was about 38%. But if you look at the difference in terms of national unemployment 2012 and national unemployment 2018, there is a bigger gap than if you look at the youth unemployment. This is a challenge all stakeholders must focus on addressing the issue of youth unemployment in the country.
Dabo further explains that the migration of youths to Europe has reduced drastically before the incident last month, in which over 60 lost their lives off the coast of Mauritania when their boat capsized. In the coming year, Mr. Dabo said his office will focus more on addressing key issues that continue to affect the youths of the country.
My office will focus more again on addressing some of these key issues, which has to do with one, migration management, two, youth participation, decision making, but of course also trying to work with all stakeholders to address unemployment. Youth unemployment has, let me say, a different multifaceted effects on the economy, on society, and on our livelihood. And addressing it will help to not only spur private sector growth, but it could also go a long way in ensuring that our economy is tax-based, that there are more tax to our economy, but of course put more food on the table, and of course increase investment in the economy and social happiness in our families.
In a country with a population of 60% youth, unemployment still remains the biggest challenge to this section of our population. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
We will go with a short commercial break, and when we return, we hear about the installation of security lights to improve security at a car park in Bundung, and who were crowned champions in the final of the Sukuta Week football tournament. Join us after the break for these stories and more.
It's the annual end-of-year Q-City Gala Dinner. We did it before and it was outstanding. We are going to do it again this year and it will be even better.
Come and have a glorious time at the 2019 end-of-year Q-City Gala Dinner and enjoy a classic, intimate family setting as you listen to the delight and the best performances Gambian artists have to offer.
And the best of all, there'll be a grand fireworks display to celebrate the end of a fantastic year and the beginning of a promising new year.
Tickets are $3,000 per individual, $1,500 for children 12 and under. You can get a 15% discount for every table of 10 you buy.
It will be another great night at Q City as we enter the new year in style.
For more information, call 33-72-489 or 33-00056.
10 years. For 10 years, we have worked to deliver world-class products and services. For 10 years, we have cultivated a reputation of excellence and quality. For 10 years, we have strived to support our people and our culture. With a history of quality behind us and a present-day drive to be the best, we continue to forge ahead towards a future of growth. As a quality network you trust, we have worked to ensure stability, innovation, and distinction. QCell, a decade of innovation, a lifetime of trust.
Welcome back. Bundung 6th Junction Ward Development Committee on Sunday inaugurated security lights within the Bundung 6th Junction car park. The initiative is to enhance security and ward off criminals. The story is by Lamin Dabo and narrated by Momodu Gajaga.
The initiative to light up Bundung 6 Junction car park aims to create a safer environment for vehicles, passerbys and local pedestrians. It's also expected to help towards lowering the risk of criminal activities at night. Jibel Choi, the public relations officer of the Bundung 6 Junction garage, expresses delight, saying lighting up the car park will reduce theft and vandalism. He appeals for more support to enable them to develop the car park.
Suleiman Jammeh has provided lights and water for us. and we are very much grateful. We are now appealing for help to transport our car park as its condition during the rainy season is unbearable. We are appealing to the government, NGOs and philanthropists to help us develop our car park.
The former councillor of Bundung Ward, Alhaji Keba Jallo, the guest of honor, says the current councillor of Bundung 6 Johnson Ward is visionary and development-oriented.
Suleiman, irrespective of any party, he is always in front of the development of Bundung. Look at the composition of his committee. You have GPDP, you have PPP, you have PDOS, you have UDP. Everybody is in this committee. This is why we have a committee called the IPC, Inter-Party Committee. He is doing our job for us. When election is gone, all we need to do is to focus on the development of your community. And I believe that Bundung is united in the sense we are seeing our community.
Suleiman Jame, the councillor of Bundung 6 Johnson Ward, explains that ward development projects are implemented based on the availability of resources and explained the need to support community-initiated projects.
Like today, this inauguration we are doing, the light is made up by our own youths within the community here, and everything is from the Gambia. So, and I think it's high time we try to look along that line, because the thing is, if we support a project like this, we are supporting our own youths. So this is why we are encouraging people to take up this initiative of lightning project, especially the one that we launched today for the neighborhood, so that people can install it at their compound gate. At the end of the day, it can make life easy, and it can also make the environment very bright, and you can have security for yourself.
Bundung 6 Johnson Ward Development Committee has also launched a neighborhood light-up project called Light Up the Community, which will see the installation of street lights. The ward committees comprises representatives from all political parties and also seasoned development workers who are championing the development aspirations of their people. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
The First Aid Department of the Gambia Red Cross Society on Sunday organized a practical demonstration exercise for capacity building of volunteers on providing emergency first aid services. This story is by Lamin Dabo and narrated by Jainaba Sonko.
Based on the increase of accidents and other emergencies that require first aid, the Gambia Red Cross Society planned to develop different video spots that can be broadcast to people as a way of building their capacities in providing first aid services whenever and wherever required. The National First Aid Coordinator with the Gambia Red Cross Society, Omar Baji, says the organization is ready to empower people through community first aid service. The first practical demonstration was for caregivers in case of an asthma attack. Mr. Baji says the first step by a caregiver should be to help the casualty to sit in a comfortable position. He went on to explain more.
You need to reassure the casualty, the person you are helping. And if the person is conscious, do ask if he or she is with his or her medication. If they have, help them to use the medication whilst you continue to reassure the person. Then if the attack continues, you will have no other option but just to call emergency service. And the Gambia Red Cross G+ emergency services number is 1199.
For epileptic seizures, Omar Baji urges caregivers to follow due procedures to avoid causing more harm to the casualty. He explains the necessary steps to follow.
When someone has seizures, the first thing that you're supposed to do is to protect the head and protect them from injury. Okay, and of course, do not restrain the person. You don't need to restrain them by holding or doing whatever it is. And then when you're doing that, you check for breathing. Okay, when the seizures is over, all right, and then the person is breathing, you just need to help them to sit on one side. We call it recovery position. then whilst you call ambulance, that is 1199.
Baji also shed light on how to handle a casualty suffering from a suspected heart attack.
When someone suffers from heart attack, you have to give the person the standard patient care. That's one thing that you're supposed to do, and of course, you have to help the person to sit him or her comfortably, whilst you try to lose any tight fittings like clothing on the person, and of course, you have to stay with the person whilst you try to reassure and then try to calm him or her down. And the other thing is like you should also prepare to give CPR, because it's heart attack. The person might not be breathing, or the breathing can stop at any time. So you have to prepare to give CPR. And of course, do not allow the person to eat anything, because the person has heart attack. And of course, the other thing that you're supposed to do, if the situation persists, you'll have to call an ambulance for help, that is 1199.
First aid helps ensure that the right methods of administering medical assistance are provided. Knowing how to help a person is important in emergency situations and can save lives.
Jabankunda football team were crowned champions of the recently held Sukuta Week Festival. A late goal from Seni Cham was enough to seal the victory for Jabankunda against a formidable Mauritania side. And Sumane Isonyasi reports.
The football final between Jabankunda Kabilo and Mauritania Kabilo on Sunday was a big event, attended by fans supporting their teams and a cross-section of people from the community. Following a first half which produced several chances and beautiful attacking football, both sides failed to break the deadlock. However, play resumed in the second half, with Jabankunda dominating much of the possession. As play progressed, Mauritania were reduced to 10 players after a team member was shown a red card for a deliberate handball. Jabankunda were awarded with a goal through Seni Cham in the final minutes as the crowd erupted into wild celebrations. Speaking to QTV after the game, the head coach of Mauritania Kabilo, Lamin Sane, congratulated Jabang FC for a well-deserved victory. However, he expressed delight with his team's performance and thanked fans for rallying behind the team throughout the week-long peace tournament.
To my amazement, I'm so impressed. The performance of my boys, they did very well. Despite the man down, they showed determination, courage, and empowerment to just go out and get this trophy back. That we think that we deserve it. But unfortunately, mistake definitely decided the game of the football. So absolutely, I'm very grateful and I'm very impressed with the performance of my boys.
Speaking earlier, the head coach of Jabankunda Kabilo, Suleiman Babu, says his team deserved to be crowned champions.
First of all, I'm thanking my people at Jabankunda and Barakunda. Because if you see that I came from somewhere, but now they put me inside like I'm a real family with them. I'm very happy today, I'm so happy. I'm very excited,
Abdusalam Jame, a member of Sukuta Village Development Committee, explains the motive behind organizing such a tournament.
The principal objective is to bring people together. It's been a long time that we organize this kind of a unity tournament. A unity because we want to bring people together under peaceful environment, people to understand each other, people to know each other better. This is geared towards the Sukutanization of our projects and our programs.
As winners, Jabankunda Kabilo were awarded a giant trophy and an undisclosed cash prize, while Mauritania Kabilo were awarded a consolation cash prize as runners-up. Answana Isonyasi for QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. A new library and a clinic were inaugurated in Kir Omar Sen village in Jokadu. Addressing unemployment and irregular migration, these were the issues discussed at the Bakau Youth Development Association's annual conference. 2019 was a challenging year for the youths of the country, says the Executive Director of the National Youth Council in an exclusive interview with QTV. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thank you for watching.